Want to see how I made these craters? Well, stick around. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Paul Knapp coming to you once again from the Man Cave, and I've been working on some scatter terrain for the Gettysburg Toy Soldier Show, which is coming up May 4th of this year. And I've just completed 2 craters, 1/32 scale. I guess it could be used in different scales, but I'm using it for 1/32 scale, and I've got 3 more to do. So let me show you how I made these. So as you can see here, we are in the Man Cave, and I've been working on several different types of scatter terrain. I've got them in all different sizes and in all different steps, if you will. These ones I just put the plaster down on the MDF board. These ones are halfway done. Need to be painted, need to be glued yet. I have some rock formations that I'm repainting. These ones over here are mostly complete. I'd say 90% complete. I have ones for World War I era. This would be no man's land. These barbed wire fences could be used, I guess, 1 or 2. And of course we have some dead horses. Still doing a little paint job on these. This could be used Civil War, Revolutionary War, I guess. And we got some jungle stuff here that I've completed already for either Vietnam era, if you're doing that type of diorama, or I was thinking more jungle warfare with Iwo Jima, possibly. And then just some plain grass ones with some trees. But what I really wanted to show you was the craters that I'm working on now. I didn't make these per se. These are vacuform pieces. The craters themselves, although they don't come painted or anything. And let me show you how I went from this to this. So if you're familiar with gaming, I believe these vacuform pieces are for wargaming. You can buy them in a pack. Can't remember the name brand, but I'm sure somebody can post it on my video here. So I took a set of these, and I was trying to think of possibly D-Day or Normandy landing and how it might look. I didn't want them all black. They wouldn't have been burnt. They would have been just earth lifted up, explosions. So I first cut different MDF boards, as you can see, and I mounted it to them. And then I added some gravel, different sizes of gravel on the sides. Probably can see it better here painted, but to make the explosion even bigger. And now we're going to go to the painting. Now here's the one I'm currently working on the workbench. Again, it's already been primed black. Everything has been glued down. I'm using 3 types of paints. I'm doing a heavy wash with this brown. Coming back with a light wash on this color brown, and then finally an even lighter wash with this cream color, and that's what gets you the brown look. So I'm going to go through this real quick, give you kind of a overview, and it's been a while since I posted from the Man Cave doing projects, so thought it was time to post one. Okay, so there is the first coat of the darker brown, and you can see I did a very heavy dry brush with that. Don't worry about small pieces coming off. You can see that little white spot there. That was where one of the rocks came off. You want them to come off now and not later. You can always repaint that, glue it back in if you really want to, but knock off all the ones that didn't glue on tight. Get yourself a good first coat. I might even put a second coat on this to see when it dries how brown it is. And then we move on to our next dry brush. And if you're wondering what type of brushes I use makeup brushes when I'm doing dry brush like this. Tends to go on better. And yeah, and there's no airbrushing going on here. This is all hand done. I hate it when you buy some of these foam pre-made sceneries and all it is just hit with a couple colors that don't even look good together, and they call that a paint job. This is hand painted, and I'm going to show you what I do with these edges that are blank once we get all the painting done. So while I was waiting for the paint to dry on the first one, I went and did a second one. So these will be matching. I'll paint them exactly the same. And just for scale, let me show you what a 1/32 scale figure looks like inside. So again, it's not real deep, but that's a Spiria 1/32 scale figure right there, just to give you some idea how big these craters are. If you do research on craters, impact craters, these are almost like moon craters, if you will. You could probably use these in a space sci-fi type diorama if you were doing it. These really don't look a lot like impact craters that would be at the beach, Normandy or something like that. This would be more inland where the ground was harder. So that's why I decided to paint them brown and not sand color. And they also have those ridges, which is more hard packed earth and not sand. So anyway, I think they look good, and let's go to the next step. Now for this next color, I tend to use a more longer, softer brush for this. I know a lot of people will say, no, you should use a stiffer one, but I very lightly dip, not a ton of paint, and I always just hit it by the sides, just kind of nicking it, if you will, and that really gives it the color without it, really going deep. So I don't use a stiff brush for this, and I take my time. I don't really whip through these models that quick. So, but I'll go ahead and finish this with this medium tan, and then we'll go to the final step. So right there you can see the difference, just hitting it with that one coat of tan compared to just black and brown. Black being the primer coat that I put on, and then just brown, the dark brown. Once you add that tan color, now it really pops. And then just adding the third color, the cream, and that's really just nicking the tips of all these rocks, where the sun would hit, kind of really makes them show. So I'm going to finish this one with the medium tan, and then come back with the cream coat on both. And finally, the third coat, which is this cream color. Again, taking a look at these, looking pretty good. They look good already, I think. As I was doing this, I was thinking, that's like an impact crater from a superhero or some superhero landing. You know what I mean? Too bad I don't collect superheroes. You could put a 1/12 scale figure right in there and look pretty cool. But so again, cream color, even a smaller brush for this. This one is a stiffer brush, and I'm just going to nick the edges of all these rocks and just give them that little whitish edge as if the sun was hitting it. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this, because whenever I buy some of those foam buildings, do you ever notice how they just give you an edge like this and they don't tell you what it is? Is it road? Is it jungle? Is it grass? Is it what? I mean, I guess you could leave it like this, depending upon what area you're putting this in. But I like to take care of these with a little bit of flock, so I'm going to show you how I do that. And here I can show you the difference between just having the edges with that cream versus not. Again, this would be your black, your brown, your tan without the edges, and this is all four colors. I just think it gives that little more of a sun hit, if you will. I'm not sure how that's showing up on camera, but you guys get the idea. Constantly adding colors. You could leave it like this, I guess, if you like that look. So I'm going to finish this one and then get on to the flocking. Okay, and finally you can see this is one that's totally complete. You can see the scale. And these two here, I'm just going to put some flocking on the edges here, right where I didn't put any rocks. I guess if you were using these for a explosion inside of city limits or something like that, you wouldn't have to put any flocking around there. But I hate when I get a model or a diorama piece that's, made of foam or something like that, and they just kind of leave it like that. I think finishing it like this makes it more look like it's an explosion that happened in a field or somewhere like that, maybe a D-Day landing inland. So I'm going to go ahead and flock these two, and then these will all match. Okay, and here are the final product. I have 4 different ones here. I'm working on a 5th one. I have a little bit darker grass on this triple hit. These 3 are matching. I will be selling these at the Gettysburg Toy Soldier Show in about 3 weeks, May 4th in Gettysburg. So if you're interested, come by my table. These will probably go for about $30 a piece. If you're interested, probably should charge a lot more for the work I put into it. These are not airbrushed, as you saw. These are all hand painted, but you know what? All my stuff's affordable. I'm going to have these smaller pieces for probably $5 and the medium ones for $10. So yeah, if you're interested, make sure you come by my table, pick one up, an exclusive Paul Knapp scatter terrain piece. And oh yeah, don't forget, I'm going to have this playset box, 10 of them, exclusive, at the Gettysburg Toy Soldier Show. But I can't show you what it is just yet. But here's another hint. Every one of them will have a Speria sniper in it. Once again, thanks for watching my channel. Thanks for supporting my channel. I just went over 4,000 subscribers this week, which I didn't think I would do this whole year. And it happened pretty quickly, so I'm glad people are watching my channel. And again, keep on collecting.